Hit record. And I've just been talking with this guy for a while. Came out here to do some street epistemology. I got one interview in, and I haven't had the camera on, and we've been having a conversation, and I keep saying I wish I'd had my camera on for this, and so yeah, so he basically told me, go ahead, turn it on, and so yeah. So we're just going to be talking, and if I end up putting any of this online, so be it. I don't really have the software to do much editing, so I hope I don't have to cut a bunch of stuff out or anything like that. But
is that cute to me? Don't say nothing nasty.
No, I don't think I'd have to cut that out. But if there's anything, if you gave any personal information you want on the internet or anything, then yeah.
I really think the problem in this nation is greed, absolute unmitigated greed. More for the few, less for everybody else, and it's designed that way. I think they came from Europe.
Because the greedy people wanted to be able to get away with their greed more. So
yeah, and they came over to the Americas
to
and killed 50 to 100 million people and said, hey, there's nobody here. Really? And they blame it on God. Yeah, God really had it in for the natives. It's just greed. And it's gotten to the point where people are starving in the street, guys living in the street, and guys are having incredible money. Just billions and billions of dollars just dancing and laughing. They're consolidating. There's one guy that I know that's never, ever taken a dime from the corporations. 50 years, been doing the same thing. They hate him, and he welcomes their hatred. Because it's time to turn it around. That's Bernie Sanders. Always been on the people's side. Can't let this guy get away again. It's too important for us, for the nation, for everyone here, to finally start turning it against this incredible greed, which has destroyed many of people's lives. They always want to deregulate. What does that do? You're destroying protections for people. The hysterical thing is, there's this thing that's designed to help people. You might as well call it people aid. But the media's got, oh no, you don't want that. Social programs, oh no, Venezuela, oh no, communism. No,
yeah.
It's to help people. They want that money for themselves. They want the money in their pocket. That's why they do it. Yeah. They're just here to maximize their profits.
Well, I think it really comes down not even so much to the money. I mean, money is just basically, money is like a generic item to barter with. And, it really comes down to the goods and the services. And they want, these are people who want to be able to have all the goods and services they could dream of and never have to have anybody tell them, no, you can't have that. And, that means, being able to exploit people all they want, being able to have people serve them all they want, anything that they can dream of, they want to be able to have that without anybody questioning it and saying, well, no, that person that you're exploiting might want to have something to say about that as well. And, if they keep us all poor and desperate, it's pretty easy to get us to do, just about anything to survive.
Just remember, racism goes right in there to divide us all, so we keep fighting ourselves instead of banding together and say, hey, give us our money back. Work for them, buy their goods. We made them billionaires, and this is how they treat us.
Well, this is one of the reasons why Bernie traditionally has not really talked an awful lot about demographic groups, and he has learned in recent years, I think, a lot more than he used to know about such things because he stayed away from it. But at the same time, he's recognized all along that there are groups of people who have been wrong. But he stayed away for the most part from saying, let's talk about, these different groups because, like you said, that's how they divide us up. And if you make things good for everyone, things will be better for the people that are having things done to them, badly wrong. But yeah, it does make sense though, if we know about a particular case, to pay some attention to that and say, let's do some work on this case that we can, because we can. It just makes sense to acknowledge the reality we live in and deal with it as best we can.
It's all about maximizing your profits. Morality is not considered. It's too expensive. This capitalist system does not care for its citizens. 100,000 more people die annually for money. Those lives can be spared. No, you hurt the profits. They're the true evil in this nation, that greed. This is why we're dying. This is why we had to have unions in the first place. They wouldn't treat us right. and they never will until they're forced because something's wrong inside. In their head, money is power. The more you take from people, now we can't donate anything to Bernie.
Yeah.
So that's
as I said, there's a Bill of Rights plaque over there, and really that's what the Bill of Rights was all about. I mean, it wasn't really there to protect the corporations. That was there to protect the people from the corporations, from the super rich and the super powerful, because those of us who don't have that kind of money and that kind of power, we need some protection from that sort of thing. But unfortunately, those who have had the money and the power have managed over the decades, over the centuries, to sort of weasel their way into the government and say, well, okay, we'll help fund your campaign. We'll help you get the things that you need done. We'll help you to get as long as you'll help us by changing this one little law, just one little tiny thing. Quid pro quo. Yeah. And this isn't a matter of, I'm not talking about politicians asking for a quid pro quo so much as just rich people saying, hey, politician, I'll help you get something done if you'll help me get something done. If you help me get what I want. And the stuff they're asking for, it never seems like all that much, because if it did seem like, if they're asking too much, the politician's probably going to tell them no. But when they ask for something that doesn't seem all that big, okay, yeah, I can do that because that'll help me get this other thing done. And Hillary Clinton talked about how if you want to get anything done at all, you've got to accept doing certain things. Basically you gotta do a little bit of wrong to get any right done. And it seems to be something that's pretty much universally accepted, but it's not true. You don't have to, it's a lot of people think, well, for example, just as an abstract, a lot of people say, well, if there was no such thing as evil, there wouldn't be any such thing as good.
Not true.
Well, yeah, that's not true. What would be true is we wouldn't know the difference because we wouldn't have anything to contrast it with.
Yeah, because
we wouldn't need to know the difference. If all we had was good and there was no evil, we'd never have to contrast good with evil because there'd be no evil to contrast it with.
We'd be a better society.
We'd just be living without it.
Instead of, like I said, these guys maximizing their profits at any cost. You ask them how much they want, the answer is more.
Yeah,
they
all
never
of it,
want
everything.
It's a sickness. You ever hear of 5150? It's a police code.
I don't think so.
It's a police code. If you're a danger to yourself or a danger to others, they lock you in the nut house.
Okay.
Are there some corporations that are a danger to others? Yes, there are. Ask 100,000 people that die. Oh, they're dead. You can't ask them.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
And they're actually a danger to themselves because they're denying global warming, which they know they believe in it. They believe in it. They're building subterranean living as we're speaking, sending billions of dollars. One guy wants to live in a missile silo. But they know they're going to screw it up.
But if they believe that it's not going to be a big problem within their lifetime, and they don't really care whether or not the next generation has to deal with it, well then I mean, to them it's no big deal.
To me, no, it's even worse because they're building these subterranean living. They know they're not going to make it through this, so they know they have to live underground because they know they're going to screw it up.
There is some of that going on. Yeah.
Why are they spending all billions of dollars for underground?
Well, just in case.
Just in case. Why gamble? if there's even a question, why gamble on the future of the entire planet?
Exactly.
Or is this Vegas?
Yeah. Because they know the scientists are saying saying different things. Some scientists are saying a few centuries. Some are saying a few decades. Some are saying a few years. And so they're going. Well, let's live as if the ones that are saying a few centuries are right, because by then we'll get some technology to fix it. But prepare just in case it's only a few years, so we'll survive when everybody else dies.
Gamble.
Exactly.
I don't think we should take that gamble. And besides, why is it okay to poison us anyway? I mean, if they stopped poisoning us, we wouldn't have any problems.
Yeah.
But they poison us for money.
Of course, it's a well-known, I would say, fact. I mean, somebody can question me on this if they want, but I would say a well-known fact that it's unlikely you're ever going to get ahead without taking some risks. And that might be a factor of the way our world is set up. Maybe it doesn't have to be that way, but it does seem to be a fact. And the thing is, these people that have so much so much already that they can risk more than any of us ordinary people could ever dream of risking, and it's a drop in the bucket to them. It doesn't matter that they're risking that. Some of them start getting the impression that, you know, hey, the more they risk, the more they gain. And it gets to the point where, you know, when somebody tells them, hey, you know, you're destroying the world you live in, you're not going to have a place to live, they're like, oh, I'm willing to take that risk because I'll gain by doing it.
Yeah.
And you know, as stupid as that may sound, I think that's really what's going on.
Extraordinarily self-serving people. Extraordinarily so, to our detriment, to possibly our disaster. As what they're calling for. The capitalists will sell you the rope that'll hang him if you can get a good price. It's exactly, that's the sickness. They're there.
Worry about getting out of the noose later.
Right now is what they care about. So the hell with tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll deal with tomorrow. And so, well, we're all sacrificed. They don't mind. That's why they think they're better than us, because this way they can treat us like ants and not feel bad that they're killing us. They're just ants, doesn't matter. So they act like they're superior. And how does superior mean you get to take everybody's stuff? Where did that come from? Unmitigated greed. That's the evil that I mentioned. That's the evil in the nation. I think the movies been telling us for years. Star Wars. You remember how they talked about how liberty dies with thundering applause, and then you got the Galactic Empire.
Oh, you're talking about the other Star Wars. I thought you meant
Star Wars.
I thought you meant the other. I thought you meant the satellite Star Wars.
No,
the movie Star Wars
itself was trying to tell us about tyranny like this, and then we have the Matrix, in which everybody thinks everything is wonderful and fine, but they're really in little freaking pods just like this, just giving their body energy to the machines. But they think everything's marvelous. That's what's happening here.
Well, that's one of the nice things about fiction, is that you can get people to think.
Yes.
You know, there might be a whole lot of it that isn't like reality, but enough of it resembles reality that can make you sort of question, okay, how many similarities can I see here, and what can I learn from this?
We don't have a free press. That's the major problem in this nation. It's very hard to have democracy when you have it owned by corporations and they broadcast in their best interest, not ours.
They have a free press.
Well,
we have a little bit of one because we can publish, you know, a little, you know, you can make a pamphlet and, you know, pass it around your hometown or something. But we're not going to have the voice that they have. Our free press is limited by our resources.
We're supposed to.
The
greedy have hijacked everything, and for their benefit, they get rewarded for doing these terrible things. Well, here's more money for you.
Yeah, and we don't have
people die.
Don't have much of a free press. We don't have much of a democracy either. They've got our democracy. Take the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Historically, the Democratic Republican Party. Okay, the plutocrats who are, you know, puppeteering the Democratic Republican Party got tired of having to run against other parties, and they said, you know what, let's just run against ourselves. We'll just break up the Democratic Republican Party, bring it back in as the left-wing Republican Party, right-wing Democrat Party, and then they went, well, let's switch the sides. So, you know, okay, make the Republican the right wing now, and the Democrats the left wing, but we still run up against ourselves, because that way that way we're the only ones who can win.
Greater chance of control. You know, why we should have a parliamentary government.
And
that's what we need.
And can an independent beat the Democratic Republican Party?
Money will never let you do that.
Yeah, of course, an independent could beat the Democratic Republican Party, but the odds are so stacked against it because the people that have been running this stuff, as George Carlin called them, the owners. That basically own pretty much everything, and what they don't own, they feel like they own.
Well, it doesn't matter if you get. I think your camera is going way out.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
I don't know if it matters to you.
I ended up aimed at me, I guess, but not really paying much attention.
It can be aimed as well, you know.
Yeah, the screen on the back is blank except for a little blinking red dot, so I really can't tell exactly what's in the frame.
Well, it doesn't matter. I just wondering. Anyway, we're getting off subject here. We're off topic. Like I said, Bernie Sanders is like Roosevelt. He started all those programs that Bernie Sanders trying to do the very same thing. Got to kick this. Yeah. This is the time.
Yeah, and a little more of it.
Yeah, which is the same thing we had way back when. And when he first got elected, we were in all sorts of financial chaos and such, and we're in the same financial chaos. They tell everybody, oh, the economy's great. No, it's not. The billionaires who got that 1.5 trillion out of tax rate, put that in the stock market and make it look everything's wonderful.
Well, if